Hey everyone, I'm Lizette Castaneda with Hotel Industry Talk. I'm so excited. I have Michael MacCallum here. Hey Michael, thanks for being here.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. So Michael is the vice president at Zieg Hospitality, and you do a lot. I saw in your profile. So you lead strategy across sales, revenue, human resources, food and beverage, and asset management. And we were just talking about all of the investor stuff. And you are focused on growth and innovation. And the goal is really to create these exceptional experiences for guests, right, and associates. And it looks like you drive long-term value through development, acquisitions, and strong investor relations. So a lot of great tips and knowledge that you're going to provide. So thank you again for being here.
Of course, happy to be here.
Yeah, and we'll start with a round of authentic questions. So what's a quote or mantra you live by in your professional life?
So the one that I most live by every day is what was taught to me when I first started with Marriott International when I was 17 years old. And that was take care of your associates will take care of your guests, and your guests will come back. That has served me well throughout my entire career. I'm a huge believer in it because I've seen it work, and I've seen what happens when that mantra isn't followed. And it has a huge impact as to if you follow that and you go with that, the return that you get back from your associates is so much greater than if you don't follow that. So I follow that every day. I instill it in my general managers or my department leaders who lead our associates every day, and it has done me well over my many years.
I love that. And we're going to get back to like how it all started. So I'm excited about that story. No, that's wonderful. Now, if your hospitality journey were a movie, what would the title be?
Oh gosh, Battle Scars.
Right? Oh my gosh, I'm sure. So I know we're going to get to it, but what was your first role when you started off in the industry?
Okay, so when I first started off in the industry, I was a house person. So I was emptying linen carts for the housekeepers. We had glassware that we would take out of the rooms, bring downstairs, run them through the dishwasher in the kitchen, wrap them, bring them back up. And then I would also, on weekends, bus tables in the restaurant and do dishes. So that's kind of where I got started, and really where I learned the value of the work that our housekeepers do, our kitchen staff, our line level, on the ground, hardest working associates, the things that they do and the impact that they make every day. That's where I learned that's where everything starts right there. So in doing all of that, I was able to make a lot of new friends that I had never, I hadn't had that experience or been able to be introduced to housekeepers before, or house persons or people in the kitchen. Like chef would take me behind the line and show me how to clean the grill, not how to cook, but how to clean the grill, or how to keep the line clean, or how to read tickets as they come in. And with housekeeping, it was the same thing. It was, how do I inspect a room? How do I make sure that the right amount of linen is brought upstairs? What do the housekeepers need? Learning what they need. So that's kind of where I got my journey started.
Okay, awesome. And the reason I asked, because you said battle scars, but yes, I mean, probably literally when you think about food and beverage staff, if they're moving dishes back and forth. So it could be metaphorically, but also literally in some situations.
Kitchen, if you've ever worked in a kitchen before, it can get pretty stressful in there.
Now, what are your morning must-haves? Is it coffee, podcast, workout, or what else is that?
So in the mornings for me, it's coffee first. And then I spend time with my daughter in the morning. And so I see her off to school every day. At night, that's where I get to recover. So after a little one goes to bed, I like to go for a run. I do about 9 or 10 miles a night.
Wow.
And I usually do it pretty late at night, like 10, 11, midnight, where I'm out. Just there's nobody out there. It's dark. There's no traffic. There's no people. I can look up into the sky and just completely clear my mind and be able to think things through. And it's really healing for me, especially after you've gone through a really stressful day, or if you've got something you really need to think through. That fitness helps keep me grounded and keeps my mind clear. So that's my medicine. And I do yoga before I go running, but yoga is also a great way to like just rebalance and recenter yourself.
I love that self-care. Now, do you have a have you ever been a part of a marathon, or do you ever sign up for marathons?
Yeah. So I've done a couple of marathons. I live right behind Magic Kingdom. So Run Disney has lots of events, and so that's always fun. But I've also done events for Back on My Feet, which is a charity for folks who are unhoused, in getting back into getting into a place to live, and so those are always fun too.
Yeah, so good. I used to be a runner. I didn't do marathons, and then when you stop, it's so hard to go back to something. So I started running again last week or the week before, but it's terrible because I'm starting back up, and that's the hard part. And what's hard is that mental mindset of I knew I could run long distance before, and your body physically not being able to do it because you have to retrain. That's the part you have to get through, right? You have to remember you can do it. It's just, it's going to take some time. Now, do you normally listen to, like when you're traveling, music or podcasts? Like what's on your playlist?
So sometimes it's a podcast.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's EDM. I need something energetic to keep me going, running at a good pace. I like to have a good pace. And so something that would keep me going and keep me energized, EDM kind of does that for me. Or even like if I'm sitting at my desk and I just need to knock a bunch of stuff out, if I can put headphones on and just listen to that, I can just bang out enormous amounts of work in a quick amount of time. So
I love that. That's great. Now let's jump into a question. So we talked about your first role being houseman, and then kind of helping out in the F&B and housekeeping side of things. What drove you to enter into the hospitality industry?
It was something that I did as it was meant to be just a part-time thing. And I guess sort of had an interest in it. I did it through college, and then went into my actual field, which was IT. And I was working for a large IT company out of Boston, Massachusetts, in a large financial institution. We were like a third-party outsourced IT company. So I was in this big building, corporate office, downtown Boston, 21 years old, like going out and partying every night, and then going home at 4:00 in the morning and being in the office at 8. And that was all great. In IT, the folks in IT weren't real, or the hospitality piece where I'm actually sitting down with people and kind of explaining things to them, and then asking them, is there anything else you need assistance with? That would always catch all of my folks that I'm helping off guard. And they were like, you're in the wrong, why are you in this industry? You're in the wrong industry. So after September 11th, the company that I was working for was relocating to Newark, New Jersey. And they said, you can come with us to Newark, New Jersey, or you could not have a job. And at 21 years old, moving to Newark, New Jersey wasn't really on my bucket list. So I said, well, I'm going to go back to Marriott. And so I did, and went through a few different positions, and then became a task force manager, or what Marriott called at the time, a operations specialist. And they ended up sending me to Newark, New Jersey. Go figure.
Yeah.
But I had an amazing time there. I met some incredible people, gained some amazing experiences. And then during the housing crisis of, what was it? Oh,
Seven?
was it?
No. I'm sorry,
06?
earlier.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
There were layoffs going on left and right.
Yeah.
And I was above property, and I knew like that's where people go to look for savings first. So I'm like, I need to get an on-property job and quick.
Yeah.
So I was looking for opportunities and found a general manager position of a 78-room residence inn in West Palm Beach, Florida. Had never thought of like relocating or anything before.
Yeah.
Did a phone interview, never saw the property before, got the job while I was task forcing. Finished up there and then packed my car, drove down to West Palm Beach, Florida, and pulled into the hotel and became a general manager at 24. And that was an experience in and of itself. So I had gone from working in a corporate position to a franchisee, very different.
Yes.
But I had some great mentors along the way. And some folks who really showed me what it was like to operate a business and what it meant to operate a business. And so that was an incredible experience for me. And then just kind of went through several different other GM positions down the Florida coastline, eventually making my way down to Miami, Fort Lauderdale. And then from there, went and became a task force manager at the company that I met you at.
Yeah.
You and I met out in San Diego, California.
Yeah.
We were doing our task force thing out there, which was amazing.
Yeah.
And then I got a task force assignment in Denver, Colorado, at a hotel there, and took that job because it was like quasi full service and had food and beverage and meeting space, all that stuff. And then went and did that, and then became an area GM for them. And then from there became a regional, not for that company, but for another company.
Yeah. And I love that experience because you really did go work in very like different departments. And I'm sure you had to learn, to your point, like a residence inn, select service. I was at a residence inn. Even though you're in sales, you wear every hat. Like you help one another out. So it's incredible. And going back to your experience in task force, because this is where I feel like I grew a lot in task force.
Yep.
What are some things that you would share with somebody who is looking to get into the industry? What are some things you would share with them about task force and how they would be able to grow from that experience?
So I think if you have the opportunity to task force, do it. Absolutely. Yeah. For a number of reasons. One, you meet amazing people like yourself. You get to travel to some great areas and meet folks, make really good connections. Yeah. But the experience that you get from, to your point, working in multiple departments at multiple brands and learning all of the different things makes you that much more valuable to the organization you're working for or the organization you want to work for. Having the sales background, the GM background, the food and beverage background, the human resources background, all of those things you get exposed to where you wouldn't in a position where you're at a hotel as a, FOM, AGM or whatever, you're kind of siloed in there, right? You're doing your day-to-day thing. Whereas in a task force position, you could wear 6 hats in a day. You and I did it. So it can be a lot, but it's an amazing experience. It builds up your stamina to be able to take on multiple things getting thrown at you at the same time. It exposes you to all of these different experiences you wouldn't ordinarily get just going the standard route. So if you have an opportunity to become a task force manager, I highly, highly encourage it. Because the experience that you gain from that, the knowledge and the connections that you make will pay in dividends for years.
Yeah, so, I agree. Thanks for sharing that. Now, let's talk about like leadership style, because I feel like just with your experiences alone, you've learned to become the leader you are today. Outside of your experience, what are you doing to, I guess, enhance your leadership skills? Are there courses you're taking, or are there certain books you're reading right now?
So I do a lot of reading on leadership. I look through lots of different things. I look to see. I have folks that I follow on LinkedIn, like folks that I look up to, who are in positions of leadership, and I look at their leadership style, and I look at how they're leading their company, or how they're talking to their, not just their associates, but their investors, or just in general. And I also look at people outside of the hospitality sphere.
That's good.
To look at how they're running their companies, or how they're talking to their folks, and learn. I pick up different things here and there and say, wow, that's really interesting. I think I want to do something like that. And then take that knowledge and apply that. But I also, part of my leadership that I provide to my associates is I'm always asking for feedback. And I want honest feedback. Like, I want the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like, you can tell me, I didn't like the way you delivered that message, or I think that we should be doing, I don't like that we have this in our company, or I don't like to have to write that report every month. Even if it's something that I can't change, I still want the feedback so that I know for myself, okay, well, maybe this is something I can look at, refine, improve. Maybe we don't need it. There was somebody in our past that you and I have worked with before, educated me on an activity called Stop, Start, Continue. And I love to play that with my associates. So what can we start doing as a company that will benefit us? What should we stop doing that's perhaps not benefiting us? And what should we continue to do? And I like to do that at every chance I get, regardless of how many times I see someone. Just ask them and get their feedback constantly. So that way I have the pulse of my company and know what we should be doing, where we're going. Maybe something that I rolled out is not going as planned. Maybe I need to make adjustments and refinements to it. But watching other industry leaders and what they do and how they react, especially right now where there's a lot of just a lot of things going on all at the same time right now, lots of change happening. It's important to see how others are leading their companies, so that way you can take pieces of that and say, okay, I see where they're going. Maybe I could adopt a piece of that, or I really like what they're doing. That's a great idea. Maybe we'll do something like that, and apply that to what I do.
Yeah, and I love that. And even thinking about when you are like finding mentors or mentees, the goal is to like look at people, embody. To me, I try to focus on embodying their strengths, right? I see all of these strengths that someone has, and how, like, to your point, how they speak to people, how they act, actions speak so loud, right? So I try to find the people that are aligned to my values and what I believe in, and then try to really embody that and take on those like characteristics, or learn how they speak and things like that. So I love that advice. Now, do you, over at Zieg Hospitality, do you all have a management and training program, or how do you develop leaders in your organization?
So we're really small. We're 3 hotels. And so we don't have a formal program in place just yet. When I came into the company, we were very much a manual process focused company. Everything is manual. We even had checkbooks on property still, if you can believe that. So I'm taking this company and transforming it into a more nimble company where things are digital, and we can make our processes faster, less expensive. And part of that would be to implement a program where we can identify associates who have um, a unique ability to prove themselves and want to grow, and get them on a path toward achieving that goal. So maybe they have an interest in sales, or they have an interest in maintenance, or they have an interest in being an AGM. How do we get them there? And so we will eventually come up with something more formalized. Right now, it's a lot of just true mentorship between the GMs. So I hire very strong GMs. I'm grateful that I've got some very strong GMs who can do that now, and are excellent at what they do. They can mentor these folks and get them ready for the next step, because we have plans to grow. And so we're going to need folks. But nothing like you and I have, experienced before, where there was a formal program in place. I would love to be able to get to that point. But being a very small operator, it's a little tougher when you're wearing so many hats. But I love to watch people grow, and that is like the most favorite part of my job, is watching associates grow. So what I look for those, those bright spots throughout the hotel. If it's a housekeeper or a laundry attendant or a maintenance engineer or front desk person, that you can see the spark in them, and you can identify them right away, and just sit down and ask them, like, what do you want to do? What do you feel like doing? Are you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And just talk to them and find out. I've had the pleasure of watching several people that I have worked with grow into some amazing positions, and that is so rewarding for me. I don't take credit for any of it, because they're the ones that do all the hard work. I'm there as a resource and to just kind of help them, find their way. But they're the ones that do all the hard work, and to see them take the next step, earn more money, buy a home, start a family, and grow is the most rewarding thing I could possibly think of. Like, that is really what I enjoy doing. So
that's so good. I love that. Thanks for sharing that. Now I'm thinking about AI, when we think about technology, and you came from an IT background, so I'm sure you've seen like the tech shifts. I also feel like in our industry, it's happening quicker than it was in the last decade. But what are some opportunities that you're seeing with, whether it's AI or technology, from a property perspective, that you think every hotelier should start paying attention to?
So when I first started in hotels, the internet didn't even exist. So
they're the manual room cards and
yes. So I mean, I'm quite old, but to see what's happening now with AI, I think provides an opportunity for management companies, for brands, and for leaders to be able to respond faster with fewer resources, and deliver on speed to market, identify opportunities a lot quicker. I use it for things like, I will go in and search, tell me the demand drivers in this market for the next 30 days, and it will deliver all that information to me. Amazing, and, whereas before, from a sales background, like sales leads, that's a long process, right? And you're making phone calls and doing all of these other things. Now you can just ask AI, like, who's the biggest producer in market? It's going to tell you right away. And so now how to use that data and be able to go, and then you can say, all right, tell me about this company. I want to know more about them. How can I, with my brand, how can I adjust my pitch to be able to sell to them? It's going to tell you. It's amazing stuff. And so if you embrace that and you're not afraid of it, you can use that to your advantage. I had to recently conduct an HR investigation. I'm HR from my company. And my Spanish is not that great. So I had a Spanish only speaking associate that I really needed to speak to. I told my AI device, I put it on speaker, laid it on the table, and said, I'm speaking with an associate who only speaks Spanish. I need you to be my translator. Can you do that? And it said, absolutely. Go ahead and start talking. I will translate for you, and then I will let you know what they said. We had an entire conversation back and forth with complete ease. It understood everything and translated perfectly for us. And it was like having another person in the room.
Yeah. Wow.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great. You know, when I think about the guest as well experience, and a light bulb is going off, but imagine just having a AI tool at the front desk where does exactly that. So now, you know, you're truly an all-inclusive diversity or DI inclusive property, but more with language barrier, right? You have these guests come from all across the world, and if they know that for sure someone is going to be able to speak with them and help them, and it's a tool that the hotel can use, I'm like, that would be amazing.
Absolutely. And you can even ask it, you can tell it, you know, this guest is coming from this country, their birthday is coming up on this day, what's an appropriate something to put in their room to acknowledge their birthday, and it will deliver, it'll tell you what you should do. And just amazing stuff. Like, you can really use it for anything. And I think it's going to provide us with so much more opportunity from a hospitality perspective to be able to deliver on really unique experiences that we can deliver for our guests, and be able to go out and work with our outside companies that we want to do business with, and be able to approach them in a way that speaks directly to them. Whereas cold calling and doing all of those things is kind of like, hey, I hope you can do business with me. Where now it's like, I know about your company and I'm going to tell you all about it and why you want to put your people in our hotel. So
that's so good.
Is really it's such a helpful tool, and people should really embrace it. I'm educating my team on it because a lot of them are just unsure, or they hear things on the news or whatever, and I'm like, here, we'll put it on my phone, we'll talk to it together, and I'll say, like, ask a question, ask any question, and they'll ask questions. Obviously, you've always got to do your homework and make sure that whatever you're hearing is correct, but we didn't have this before. This is amazing tools and it's cheap. Like, I pay, I think, $5 a month. Like,
it's a game changer. Yeah,
absolutely.
And I think it's an amazing tool, and I'm excited to see the evolution of it in our industry. And I think that, you've been, and I've been seeing these challenges where you're short staffed, you just don't have enough resources. This is going to free up so much of someone's time, even if it's, chat. I'm seeing a lot of brands do the text messaging now, right? It's an AI bot, but it answers basic questions like, do you have a pool? Do you have a fitness center? And instead of someone calling the front desk and taking up that time, now they could just ask a bot that's going to give them exactly what they need, which is frees up time, right? So that's amazing. Now, this is a question that I was thinking about too throughout our conversation because of your journey. Did you ever imagine, when you started in the industry, being where you are today? And what are you most proud of?
I always wanted to be in, my goal was to always be like a hotel owner, or to do something in that realm. I think I'm on that path, and I've been blessed with meeting the right people at the right time and having the right mentors to be able to show me things or educate me on things, and to be open-minded enough to be exposed to that. Dealing with my fear of unknown, or I'm a shy person by nature, and to be able to break free from that and say, no, you need to go learn this, you need to go see this. You have to be able to be okay with being uncomfortable, and stepping way outside your comfort zone. That's for me, that was the only way that I would grow. Otherwise, I would be doing the same. I would just stay I'm a creature of habit. So I would just stay in that position and not do anything.
Yeah.
But because I've had so many great mentors along the way, and also I've been able to learn from folks who weren't great leaders, and I was able to learn what not to do or what not to say. You know, you and I think went through something together where we were like, whoa,
Yeah.
something bad is going on, and we addressed it, and I think we learned, okay, that's never okay, and we took care of it. But we know like what not to do, and so that's also important. You know, you're going to go through some bad experiences, you're going to have some bad leaders, but that's okay. You want you kind of need that. You need to learn what's the right thing, what's the wrong thing. And so I don't think I knew that at this age I would be running a company, but I am incredibly grateful to work for two incredible partners who took a chance on me and who are letting me have free reign of a company and letting it grow, and who, you know, trust me to do it. So to have that opportunity is amazing. So I think, you know, you follow what you want to do, follow your passion, be okay with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
If you're not like, I've taken positions where I'm like, I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this. And, you know, it's like, you got to sink or swim. So, you know, it's like when you see, you know, them throwing, you know, toddlers in the water to swim, like, okay, off you go, do it. You know, just get in there and swim, and you will learn, and you will do, and you'll be okay. You'll be okay. And depend on the people who you have worked with in the past to say, help me with this, or, you know, what do I do for this? Call on your mentors, call on your friends and say, oh gosh, I'm going through this situation. Walk me through it. There are people there to help you along the way who have helped you the entire time. They're right there, right behind you.
Oh, that's such great advice. And I was going to ask you, what is something you'd want to leave everybody with? I feel like that was amazing, but is there anything else you want to share? You were incredible. And I'm taking all of this to heart.
I think, you know, being a risk taker you have to take risk, and you have to be okay with failure. I have failed a number of times, and you learn every time from that. It's okay. Everything will be okay. Everything happens for a reason. You're learning the entire time. Take risks, move fast, break things, and be okay with that. And then it's okay to say, oh yeah, I tried that out and it didn't work. It was not good. I was really bad at that. Like, I'm okay admitting I was the worst salesperson. I tried sales and I was the worst at it. I have so much respect for people who work in sales because it's such a hard job. I can't do it because I don't have the personality for sales. For me, it's like, do you want this hotel room or not? Like, you know, but it's like, it's not that easy. You really have to work that relationship. It's such a hard thing to do, and it takes a special person to be able to do that. It was not for me, but I can run an operation. I can look at P&L. I can open a hotel. Like, those things are just come easier to me than sales. So try things out. Try everything out. And find out what you're really passionate about. You may stumble across something and be like, wow, I really enjoy doing that, and I want to go down that route. So try everything, take risks, be okay with failure, and just learn and grow. Like, it's okay. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, I love that, Michael. Thank you so much for being here. That was really great. I cannot wait to share this. So I will share it on Hotel Industry Talk on LinkedIn for sure. But again, thank you so much for being here. It means a lot to me, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right, take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.